Okay, so if you didn't know, I also play Genshin. I'm extremely terrible at it. And since I've been playing Genshin, I've been reading about and trying to keep up with everything that's going on in Genshin now. With that being said, I have come across a term in which I'm not sure what it means in regards to the game, because I'm not an adamant Genshin player. Honkai Star Rail is more my speed. However, I still play the game because I love the story and I love the character designs and I just love how far the game's gone. And I try and keep up with, all the silly little shit posts around it, which is so fun and exciting. But anyway, long story short, this video will not end until I figure out what it means for a character to be meta. Now, I have an idea, but I will not stop until I'm most certainly, absolutely, positively sure of what it means in regards to Genshin. So that's why I'm in an incognito browser, because we're doing this completely from scratch. Let's start off with google.com. No, stay signed out, that's the point. Okay, Google. So, first things first. We're gonna look up the word meta. That didn't help, it just gave us to meta. Oh, yikes, the meta stock it's down. Oh gosh darn it. It's like a definition in gaming, yes. A meta in gaming terminology is a generally agreed upon strategy by the community. Okay, so with that information, based off the context I've seen the word used, I would assume that meta means a character that is actually good. Why does meta have to be the word though? Okay, cool. So we found out the definition of meta. Now we're gonna go backtrack, go to meta in Genshin. In Genshin meaning the most effective tactics, oh my. Okay, the meta or most, OMG! That's what meta literally means. Okay, that's actually super cool. I didn't know that. For real, I didn't know that. This video is mostly a joke, because obviously if you're, I'm not even really taking this seriously, but but that's actually cool. I just learned something new. Meta, does it actually mean most effective tactics available? Is that really true? Better to trust some gaming articles, because sometimes they're a little iffy. But usually consist of nothing more than the best character combinations that can put out the highest numbers. That's because it's a game about grinding. Okay, so that makes sense. Cool beans. So, okay, that's cool. It's cool and all, but now the question is, who exactly is meta? Who is now meta in Genshin? Oh, it already knows. It already knows what I'm trying to ask. In Genshin, who is now meta in Genshin? As the best buffer in Genshin, it's no surprise that Bennett is the most meta of the. Oh god, the word meta, oh my god, I'm gonna get sick of it so fast. Bennett is the most meta of the meta units. Okay, that's great. But this was March 15th. This is almost a year ago. I need to know now, as of Fontaine, because Fontaine wasn't out back then. Was it? No, Fontaine literally was not out back then. Hold on. Oh, Bennett is the #1 Genshin character in general? That's crazy. I would have never guessed. I just... Ooh, Hoyo Lab article. Okay, this is actually the perfect source to get an answer to my question. This is from 2020. Okay. No, I'm not logging in. You don't need to know. No, skip that. Great. Oh, kind of... Hello, Joxer from November. He posted this on Thanksgiving. Well, probably Thanksgiving during quarantine. Oh my. Kind of very irritated seeing that word all over the internet. Meta. For what exactly? For Abyss? Well, you need 2 teams, so why is Meta always talking about 1 team then? For commissions, random encounters, and puzzles? Impossible, as you can't have, without playing the game, 5 characters in the party at the same time. For damage output, yes. 2 fire-based characters up the damage, but what's the point of it against trash mobs like 3 different Abyss mages above domain of Gyuyun? Can someone please explain to me why everyone talks about some meta and then basically writes about characters and weapons they got from loot boxes, ignoring everything else? Huh. Interesting. My meta is creating beautiful but devastating elemental... Okay, I think that's a crucial part to it, is that meta does have something to do with the elemental reactions. I heard that like a lot of characters prior to definitely like were like, they definitely became like more like usable and like playable after Sumeru. Like for example, I think Kuki Shinobu, I think, yeah, because of Dendro basically. Since Dendro came out, a lot of previous characters suddenly became, what do you know it, meta. And I think that's because they are now able to be used appropriately in the game. So that's not answering my question of who is meta in Genshin as of, what version are we in? 4.3. As of 4.3. I think we're in 4.3. Okay, this is a lot more recent. This is Christmas of last year. So, topping the charts as the absolute must-have flex picks across every team archetype. God tier Genshin Impact characters currently outclass all others in terms of consistent damage, utility, and meta dominance. Bennett, Farina, and Hu Tao. I think this is just like the best characters in general. This isn't answering my question. That's the same as before. So the best characters, I guess, it's not answering my question as to like who specifically though is meta now. Like off the top of my head, well actually I guess it's different. I think more characters became meta after Sumeru compared to Fontaine. So if I had to think of who exactly became, I mean, honestly, I can't really think of anyone because Hydra's already been in the game. With Neuvillette, he just needs a support, basically. But supports have always pretty much been meta. Farina is just like super OP, so that didn't change much either. Who was impacted by Dendro? So I guess we're going back. We're going way back. Who was most heavily impacted by Dendro? Oh, okay. Thank God bless Reddit. What would we do without Reddit? Okay, so since Sumeru is ending, who do you think were the meta characters and why? Okay. So this is talking about specifically Sumeru characters, but I think it also like helps to like gauge who is like impacted in like the team comps that those characters were probably used in. So it says Nahida was number 1. It's pretty self-explanatory. I wouldn't know. I don't have Nahida, and I've only seen like I've seen her gameplay, but I don't really know how it works, you know? Alhaitham, I do have Alhaitham. I believe, I do actually agree with this. I read ahead, but Alhaitham possibly the best C0 DPS in the game, overtaking Ayaka and Hu Tao due to his versatility. Sorry. Alhaitham, with the introduction of Dendro, Alhaitham now has Bloom, Burgeon, Hyper Bloom, and Spread at his disposal, whereas they're comparing it to Ayaka and Hu Tao. From experience, Ayaka's better with freeze comps, but I use her as a melt comp. I use her in a melt comp, and it kind of works just as good, depending on the situation. I don't know about Hu Tao though. I don't have Hu Tao. But from what I've used with Alhaitham, he's not really like usable for me yet. He does make like the versatility of the team a lot better. But yeah, no, he opens up so many opportunities for damage to be dealt. You just like need, you know, the proper team comp to make that happen. So did this answer my question? To some degree. Honestly, it really depends. Like, I think the qualifications of who's good now literally like depends on each person. Like, it depends on how you've built the characters, what artifacts they have, what your main focus for them is. It's just like there's so many things that go into it that can like really determine whether or not they're good or not. And then it also depends on the team comp and how you like choose to form that. So did this tell me what it means to be meta in Genshin? Yeah. Well, I get the general concept. It's basically like who is super cracked now, I guess, because of, well, I guess in Genshin I feel like it depends. It's more like a circumstance thing. It's like you are meta, like X is meta because of Y. Like, I feel like there has to be a reason, especially if people are like, wow, Ayaka is meta now. Like that's cool and all, but like clearly something had to happen in order to make that happen. So it's like the meta is like circumstantial, I guess. I don't know. Very interesting concept though. Does that happen in Star Rail? I don't think, no, that doesn't happen. It can't really happen. Well, it can happen based off like types, like support and shield and all that stuff, but like not really, which is interesting. Yeah, it's actually very interesting contrast. But yeah, okay, well, I got an answer to my question, kinda, sorta. So, you know, I think this is very productive means of using my resources and my big gamer brain. But yeah, so if you if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.